The Crown Prince and Crown Princess of Denmark, Frederik and Henry Christian and Mary Elizabeth, are set to visit India this week. That visit of the royal couple will be the first ever from the Danish royal family in 2 decades. WION's principal diplomatic correspondent Siddhant Sibal spoke to Denmark's envoy to India on the royal visit, India's G20 presidency and the war in Ukraine. Listen in.
The royalty from Denmark is coming to India. If you can talk about that very, very important visit.
Thank you very much. It's always a great pleasure being with WION. Yes, that's right. We'll have an official visit by our Crown Prince and Crown Princess. So it's a royal visit. And they will be here based on an official invitation from the government of India. And we are looking forward to that visit because this is signifying another symbolic but also important step in our relationship.
How will this visit essentially help give boost to the relationship? This is already a very good relationship. We saw the Indian Prime Minister visiting your country last year, your Prime Minister visiting India, essentially starting incoming visits here in India after the COVID pandemic. So how will this visit help elevate the relationship or boost the relationship?
It will, of course, boost in the sense that in 2020 we had the first summit between our two prime ministers. 21, as you rightly said, our prime minister came here. In 2022, your Honourable Prime Minister paid a visit to Denmark, and this year, 2023, we are decided to bring our royal couple out here for a royal visit, and that will, of course, boost the relationship, but it will also boost the relationship economically and commercially in the sense that we'll bring a big, very significant Danish business delegation ahead for this visit, and there will be a focus on energy and water, and we have 36 Danish companies, top-notch companies who are ready to inspire India. So it would definitely be a very, very important contribution to our relationship, the Green Strategic Partnership, but also India's trajectory towards 2047.
There is a worry over the conflict, the Russia-Ukraine conflict. This week marks 1 year since the conflict began. So how do you essentially see the situation evolving almost a year after, when, of course, the situation exacerbated after what the Russian side did in Ukraine?
I mean, who could have believed that we still will have a war in Europe? And it has been dragging on for 1 year, and we see the devastating consequences in Ukraine for the rest of the world. So there's only one solution to it, that is that Russia withdraws and that this unprovoked attack on an independent, democratic country is brought to an end. Unfortunately, I don't see it coming, so we'll cross fingers that it's not being escalated, but you never know. And I think we have to watch out. But Denmark, we stand with Ukraine. We support Ukraine because if you accept that war and then a kind of unprovoked attack is the new rule of international engagement, I think it's difficult to imagine what could not happen in the years ahead. So we have to watch out for that. And that's why we, the Europeans and the Americans, we stand behind Ukraine. You have to defend the right of an independent democratic country.
Sir, India is hosting the G20 summit this year. What role do you see for India when it comes to this conflict? Do you see that India playing a neutral arbitrator, a neutral mediator in terms of resolution of this conflict?
G20 is something different. It's about economy, climate, and so forth. And these are very, very important global topics that we also have to tackle. And I think during the Indonesian presidency in Bali, a kind of formula was found to address that issue. But it goes without saying the more serious the conflict and the war will be, and if we see an escalation, then of course somebody will have to look into what are the consequences of this kind of situation. Climate is a big, big challenge to all of us. Food shortage, fuel shortage, fertilizer shortage, big challenges. What about health? What about education? How do we bring forward again the world economy? So I think there are a lot of things that can be done and should be done in the context of G20. I personally, and we from Denmark, we have high hopes and expectations for India's role and leading let's say, leading presidency role in securing that G20 works.